The global economy is treading an increasingly narrow and perilous path. That is one of the key messages from meetings that we've had through the course of yesterday and this morning as well. The number one enemy when it comes to the global economy is inflation. We've seen some very troubling outcomes for inflation in the United States released this morning, the highest core inflation in something like 40 years. So the Americans, like all of us around the world, are very focused on, very concerned about the high levels of inflation which is persisting in our economies. It's this high level of inflation which is inviting that blunt and brutal response from central banks right around the world. So far at these meetings, I've met with Secretary Yellen, I've met with the head of the IMF, I've met with the UK Chancellor, the head of BNP Paribas. I've met briefly with the Finance Minister of the Ukraine, Minister Marchenko. Later today, I'll be meeting with the Finance Minister of India, the Finance Minister of Canada, the head of the World Bank, and of course the Governor of the US Federal Reserve. Tomorrow with the President's economic advisors and with my counterpart from Korea. The pretty consistent message from the G20 meetings here in Washington, D.C. is that the pressures on the global economy are intensifying. We are treading a narrower, more perilous path when it comes to the global economy. The best defence against global economic uncertainty is responsible budgets. Budgets cannot be irresponsible, they can't be untargeted, they can't be excessive when it comes to the support that's provided to our citizens. We need to make sure that any support that's provided in budgets around the world doesn't make our inflation problem worse. And that's obviously something that's front of mind as we put together our own budget, put the finishing touches on the document that we'll hand down in less than 2 weeks' time now. The budget that I hand down will put in place the building blocks of a more resilient economy. The premium on the budget I hand down will be responsible economic management. That's because the best defence against this intensifying global economic uncertainty is responsible budgeting, and that's what you'll see 2 Tuesdays from now from me.